To synchronize Synfire and your DAW, you need to enable external synchronization at both ends. Make sure tempo is the same in Synfire and in the DAW. Your exact settings may vary. Check out our up-to-date tutorials for more information. Identical tempo is important. Select the same MIDI loopback driver the other end is listening to. MIDI timecode works most of the time, although there are exceptions. Check your synchronization by selecting containers. The playhead should follow your selection. Synchronization is ready now. A common scenario is when you have finished an arrangement in Synfire, you want to use a DAW for mixing and production. Add a drone plugin for every rack module in your arrangement. On a Mac, you should always use audio units. On Windows, you can use VST3. New drones take a little time to go online. You may have to wait up to 10 seconds for them to appear in the sidebar. Here they are. Moving a rack module over to a drone is easy. Just select the target drone from this menu. When the transfer is finished, the rack module turns green. Remove an insert effect before you move the module. Unfortunately, insert effects can't be moved. You can, however, set up the effect on the channel strip in the DAW. Repeat the procedure until all rack modules are moved to drones. It is important that all sounds of an arrangement are hosted by the same program. All sounds are now hosted in your DAW, ready for mixing. Another scenario is when you build an arrangement based on drones from the start. Add a drone plugin at the other end. Wait for it to connect to Synfire. As said, this may take up to 10 seconds. Once an available drone is listed in the sidebar, you simply drop it on an instrument to set up the sound. This is basically the same procedure as with every sound. Check out the tutorial about sound assignment. The instrument now plays directly to the drone in your DAW. Another common scenario is when you want to compose and arrange music around existing vocals and other recordings. Here's an example. if we want to experiment with different instrumental phrases and rhythms, we can pick them from a library and listen how that works out.
Lights are out and there's sweat in your embrace. There's one. Lights are out and there's sweat in your embrace. Lights are out and there's sweat in your embrace. There's one other thing I dare. Lights are out and there's sweat in your embrace. There's one other thing I dare. Lights are out and there's time.
Last but not least, your DAW may offer sounds that you want to play with Synfire. This is what MIDI drones can be used for. First, you set up the internal sound at the other end. Then you load a MIDI drone into a MIDI effects slot placed before the instrument. When the MIDI drone has connected to Synfire, it will appear in the sidebar. Drop it on an instrument and set up the sound's properties. Ready to go. At some point, you may want to export all generated MIDI to the DAW for production. You can also do this incrementally, one drone at a time. Grab this colored label and drop it on a track. Another option is to export from Synfire. Grab an instrument or container and drag it over to the DAW. Briefly tap the spacebar before you drop. There's a tutorial on export specifically. With exported data already on a track, you may want to silence further output from Synfire. Select which data to play here. When you can't hear the selection you are editing, you may need to select the corresponding track in the DAW and enable input monitoring. Working with drones can be confusing for beginners. If you are new to Synfire, we recommend you postpone this until you are comfortable with your overall Synfire workflow.
Thank you for watching.